Everybody, I'm Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and everybody's got a price for lazy booking. Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to Lazy Booking. No, it's true. It's damn true. Ho! Hey, folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and if you want to know what's going on in wrestling, check out Lazy Bookings. Ho!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of Lazy Booking right here in the Real Talk Studios in Runnymede, New Jersey. And we are brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, run by Dr. Paul Vidal. If you got any aches and pains, anything that's bothering you, all you got to do is look them up, www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com, and you won't have any more of those aches and pains after you make an appointment. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com, baby.
Also brought to you by Ambuck Services, guys. You need to get your trees trimmed, deck installation, restoration. Your gutter is cleaned. Check out ambuckservices.com. Our topic of conversation. See, I'm already like, they took so much out of me today. There's so much that was taken out of me.
Things have changed, Chrome. Things have shifted.
Not for the better, by the way, in case anybody was wondering.
Things have happened today.
Our topic of conversation for the first half, which I like this, by the way. New setup for A2D. Now we got two topics of conversation for each half. I like it. It gives us a lot more to dig into a little bit with the fam over here.
Yes.
But our first half, topic of conversation, it probably would have changed had I known what was going to happen today, but it all actually kind of ties in. WWE's open approach to WrestleMania is good. Agree, disagree. And in terms of that, that's the open approach being that they're more, not everything is penned in months and months ahead of time, and we're rolling with this regardless.
Oh, yeah.
It's open to that. They're open for change even 5 weeks out at this point, clearly.
Oh, yeah,
That's brought to you by ATS Sports Picks. Use the promo code A2D. Get you 20% off all your first-time packages. Check them out. ATSSportsPick.com for all you junkies. We got March Madness around the corner. You got the XFL going on right now. You got all kinds of stuff coming up.
Yeah,
Get
lots
in there,
of stuff.
dig in, utilize it. We're going to talk about the road to WrestleMania, which in a lot of ways did kick off today. In big ways, kicked off today. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just a Saudi Arabia show that what happens in Saudi stays in Saudi. A lot of things happened today. We're going to deep dive in. We really want to know what you guys think. So if you're joining us on YouTube, Instagram, Periscope, Facebook, Twitter, we want to hear from you guys today because this is a show. This was a show today.
It was a show, all right. Yeah.
And don't worry, we got you covered. We're not just going to bombard everything with this. We're going to do AEW Revolution preview as well. But to the topic of conversation, Maddie.
Oh, do we have to?
I don't even know if I can answer the poll question because up until today in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia,
is it the progressive city of Riyadh?
I suppose. I don't know what they are this week.
Oh, okay. Just wondering because I know they were always in the progressive city of Jeddah. So, I mean, just double checking.
I 1,000% would have said yes, I agree. But then today happened. Then today happened, Maddie. I know you didn't get a chance to watch, but you read up on it.
I did.
How could you not? You didn't even need to go out of your way to read up on it, Maddie. You just needed to check out all of social media exploding today. And here we are. By the way, Chrome, Maddie, Mr. Reinbrod on the ones. I'm so off with this. I don't even introduce us, guys.
It's all right. It's okay. It's a big day here tonight on Thursday. Between what happened on the Saudi show, Hockey Happy Hour later, it's a lot of crazy stuff happening.
Yeah, and by the way, make sure that you guys check out, stick with us for all you puckheads out there, Hockey Happy Hour, because who is going to be on tonight?
Jason Martinez.
Jason Martinez. They're going to talk NHL trade deadline let's pass. They're going to talk Flyers hockey. There's a lot of good stuff. Jason's going to be a great guest.
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Big time. And that's a shameless plug. Bang, bang. All right.
No shame. You have to have shame to have a shameless plug.
That's a good point. Yeah, that went out the window a long time ago.
But we're taking you up to 9:15, guys. So I need to hear from the fam tonight. I need you guys in the chat. I want to hear your reactions, whether you watched it live, whether you caught a spoiler, whether it was, a notification to your phone, Twitter, wherever. I want to hear how people felt about the main event of the Saudi Arabia show today, WWE Super Showdown, which had a massive effect now on WrestleMania, particularly with what we're talking about. Other things happened on this show that we're going to dive into that also. So I will need somebody to bring up the card just so we can kind of flow through it. But I need to hear from you guys. And for the people who are in support of the booking decision at the end of this, I particularly want you to convince me why I should not even want to see WrestleMania at this point. And I've already invested a lot of money in this weekend. And right now I'm like,
should we make that a contest? If you could convince Chrome that this was a good idea, then you win something?
I don't know what you win, but you win my respect. I don't have a lot for people, so
so it has some value.
We talked briefly via text message earlier, and what was the one request or thing that
we're not talking about it until we get on the air?
Yes, I said, Chrome, don't even ask me about the pay-per-view. I won't ask you. I won't ask Maddie. Do not ask me.
You said that to me privately in our show chat. Our wrestling show chats that we have where we try to discuss some stuff. A couple of the guys dropped some stuff in there, which, by the way, because of what happened today, Mr. Andy Ritter, Stat Guy Ritz himself, from In This Very Ring, which you can catch over the weekends, usually Sundays, right?
Correct.
Oh, boy.
Usually Sundays. I know there are a couple times they did a different day, but usually on Sunday. You check out Ritz. He's going to be joining us via telephone.
In
a little while once he gets home. So he's going to call in. We're going to get his
some
reaction.
shit down when the host of Sunday Night Heat's calling in.
You ain't kidding.
But now that
from the Action Zone.
Oh, Action Zone.
That's more the Sunday show.
I'm sorry, because it was Saturday they did Action Zone, so I got it confused. My bad.
No.
Oh,
Mania was Saturday. Action Zone was Sunday.
Okay.
So now that we're on the air, it's safe to...
Do we want to jump into that, or can we just run through the card?
I have the card right up here if you wanted to.
It's up to you
guys.
Man. It's up to you.
Let's talk about the positives first. The positive things.
Should I hit the cricket sounder?
No. There was good things from this show.
So we're going to pull the silver linings out of one of the biggest gray clouds we've ever seen.
I actually felt like this show, up until the main event, was good. I enjoyed it. It was one of their better Saudi shows. Overall, top to bottom. You disagree?
Yeah. Yes, Chrome. Yes, Chrome. I do.
All right, we're gonna get Andy on the phone. Actually, let me just make sure he's good to go.
Oh,
we're gonna dive into this.
All hell's about to break loose.
A couple things over here while you're getting Maddie
let's just
Andy
dive right
set
into
up.
the chat.
Ralphie is the first comment of the day, and he says, "The Undertaker is my godfather." I'm proud of you, Ralphie. Congratulations on that.
Are you sure about
David
that?
says that The Undertaker needs to retire. It's over for him. Brian Daly says RKO out of nowhere. Maybe that would have saved the program. Dave was talking about Trish Stratus. I don't believe Trish was on the program this afternoon, Dave.
Nope.
Christopher Gaddis said Taker probably balled on the court. Pove said had Super Showdown on in the background at work today. Pretty good, quote, house show, and had my jaw dropped.
It was better than a house show.
Eileen says, hey, guys, how are you? We're wonderful, Eileen. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, Eileen.
Ralph says, fun fact about Undertaker number 2. He worked with Hulk Hogan before debuting in WWE. So I guess Andy's our stat guy. Ralph's our stat Undertaker guy. Or
He's
Undertaker
our fact guy.
And I know exactly what he's talking about. There was a little movie called Suburban Commando that Hulk Hogan starred in.
Undertaker was in WWE then, though.
He was?
Yeah.
When was
So does that mean that Ralph is
It's
wrong?
around right when Undertaker started.
Oh, okay.
So does that mean he's wrong?
No, I don't think so. I mean, unless he's saying he worked in the ring against him and elsewhere.
Ralph, you'll have to elaborate. Greg says, what's up, fellas? Let's see here. Eileen says, do you guys like the old school wrestlers? And if so, who are your favorites? Eileen, we'll jump into that question in a little bit once we get everybody on the phone and we break down the show. Andy then says, what's up, guys? Everyone grab the popcorn, get comfy. It's going to be an interesting show. Christopher Geddes said, God, I want to puke after watching that show.
I'm actually going to get Andy on the phone right now. While you're
Gotcha.
doing
Let's see. Jake says, so all that Fiend buildup was for nothing? Question mark. And then Andy says, for the record, we are on Saturday nights now.
that. Okay.
And then
I
Pete,
figured there was
as
a
the last comment before we go to Andy on the cellular device, he says, I feel indifferent about the ending because that match should have never taken place because a crossing someone is bigger than the title. Or I think he meant a certain someone is bigger than the title and didn't need it anyway.
Andy, you there? Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, yep, there we go.
All right, now are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
He's here.
All right, guys, on the line, Andy Ritter, Mr. Ritz,
Sound so excited.
joining us from in this very ring, now on Saturday nights, previously on
Yes.
Sunday nights.
We've been Saturdays for a couple months now.
Yeah, whatever.
Depends how much you pay attention.
Well, it's the action zone,
Some
man.
people need to actually choose which day.
I mean, hey, if it's the action zone, that means Aldo Montoya's probably on there all the time.
Listen, buddy, welcome to the show. We're happy to have you on. We talked earlier and we said, listen,
Having me again.
this is probably a time to have you on because, like we talked about, I know you guys are going to deep dive into this as well, but you talk about this is a show that we need to get an instant reaction from. First of all, let me ask you the poll question. The poll question we have for the first half is WrestleMania. It is good that WWE has an open mind to WrestleMania. Agree, disagree. In terms of, previous years, everything's penned in right away. And they're going to ride that horse, to water or until it's dead. At this point, now they seem to be more open. Obviously, we heard about all of the changes. Almost the entire SmackDown side of the card was going to be changed. And portions of Raw as well that we haven't heard about. And clearly today, is the start of that shift. So I want to ask you, because I don't know. Before today, I agreed 100%. And I'd probably say I agree just because taking this out, I still like things are changing. But would you agree or disagree that it is good that WWE has an open mind?
I like that I would have to agree. I like that they're having an open mind with everything. Granted, I'm not a fan of what happened at the end of Super Showdown. We had talked about it on the show this past week when we were previewing Super Showdown, and I called it. I said this is going to happen, and I'm not going to like it, and I didn't like anything about it. But I like the fact that here we are 5 weeks away, and for the most part, there's still a lot up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So that I agree with the poll, and because I like the unpredictability of WrestleMania. I like the fact that, okay, we don't know who's facing who. Now, granted, we know Taker, AJ. We're at the point where if you don't start setting something up post-Elimination Chamber, like the night after, then you put me in a panic mode.
Yeah. Okay, so he agrees. I agree timidly. because this is what that opens up for. But what about you, Maddie? Do you agree with this?
I think that I will agree in this regard. It's not a bad idea to have an open mind on ideas because sometimes the idea that you originally had doesn't go well. And we've seen it with them in the past where they will ride something till WrestleMania and the crowd absolutely hates it. But they'll still ride with it. And it's like, well, a couple months ago they could have called an audible and they could have changed things around. They never bothered doing it. And the crowds shat all over the match. What a shock. I agree in that respect. However, though, like what we saw here at the end towards the day, that does leave us with a couple of really out there possibilities coming true. That makes us scratch our heads saying, why in the ever-loved hell did we even do this? Like, is there somebody back there drunk thinking this is 1998 all of a sudden? Like, it's really stunning. Like,
all right, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's just go right to the main event. We'll talk about the rest of the card after. All right. I understand why, but I don't agree with it because there's other ways to do it. If you haven't watched Goldberg in a ugly match with The Fiend is your Universal Champion. That's what they ended the show with. He got booed. He gets cheered for the entrance. He always gets cheered for the entrance. And you have those weird, people, it's fun to be like, Goldberg, go. It's fun. But this is you expect me to believe, and this is on WWE, by the way, for putting the title on The Fiend way too early. When you put him in a title match, he had to win. We never disputed that. When he was in a title match, he had to win. That being said, once you put yourself in that situation, you're screwed. Because who's going to take the title off of him? I get it. I understand that you backed yourself into a corner with a guy who took 18 freaking curb stomps or whatever the actual number was.
Whatever that was.
And then he took, a sledgehammer to the head. He's taking chair shots. They've thrown everything at this guy, and he kicks out at one. Like, you expect me to believe that a 50-year-old man who has 3 moves and only one that he can effectively do now.
Which is the one that doesn't involve lifting somebody.
That's the guy who can hit 4 of those, can magically overcome the mandible claw, hit one piss-poor jackhammer, if that's what you want to call it. It's essentially a pickup for a suplex, and he almost dropped him on his fucking head. You expect me to believe that this is the guy that, to me, it's like, fuck Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins and The Miz. How fucking stupid are those guys? You're out there training and you're practicing this. All you had to do was learn how to tackle a motherfucker. That's it. Just learn how to tackle him and do a half-ass slam, and you're fucking good. You could have beat the monster. But because you had to get cute and do curb stomps and everything else and rip fucking hair out and cut your hair and everything else to get cute, you couldn't overcome him. All you need to do is learn how to do a half-decent fucking tackle and a shitty slam, and you could have overcome the unovercomable.
Grump, you want me to tell you why the answer to the poll question for me is absolutely no, and why it's a complete disagree on why, even up until that point of the program at the end, and I'm not going to go crazy with the entire card because we're going to break it down one by one, so I'm going to just talk about the main event, what everyone's talking about. You know what? No, I'm not even. I need something. Okay? You know what this is, Maddie? This is the music that has to be playing whenever they're writing the scripts.
It's a sideshow.
And the shows and all their bright ideas. This is what's going on in their heads.
It's a fucking sideshow.
They also took a bunch of Quaaludes, obviously, if they're hearing this in the background. But anyway,
they
go ahead.
spent 9 months telling us, oh, Bray Wyatt, remember him? He's going to be tougher now. We're going to put him in a mask. We're going to put him on a kids show. We're not going to have him show up in person for 3 months. And guess what? It worked. It somehow friggin' worked. I was coming in here saying, oh, he's the next Mick Foley, the 3 faces of Foley. And guess what? I was right for another reason, Chrome. Because even like Mick Foley, Bray Wyatt's getting screwed by Vince McMahon. He is Mick Foley.
Yep.
He's the guy.
He is.
They look like they finally built up a character. Build up a person. Build up something. They haven't done that since Roman Reigns, kinda. But he gets booed every time he goes into a building.
Till recently.
And then John Cena. Back in what, 2005?
Who eventually started getting booed everywhere he went.
We knew that the Fiend... I can't even say... Like, we bought into the Fiend. He was a mask. We knew he was losing eventually. This guy... He nearly killed The Undertaker 9 months ago. Oh, it was also in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
You would have thought that would have been a warning sign.
He couldn't even lift him. You're telling me that 4 spears and a jackhammer
Wait.
is worse than 100 curb stops and a steel chair?
So I guess officially Goldberg has the official 3 moves of doom. There is no other person who
One
can
and a
claim
half moves
one and a
of
half
doom.
moves. But he's the only person that can actually claim that title now officially.
Unless you account the headbutting of the locker guaranteeing the desired effect of a concussion. Because every time he does, you notice he didn't do it this time around. He didn't have the mark on his head because he's finally fucking smartened up after 20 years. But listen, I'm with you, Ryan. I'm with you. They took a guy who seemed like it was impossible to rebuild because of everything else they flubbed with his first gimmick and the different iterations of that gimmick, and they made us believe. And he didn't need the title. That's the thing. He didn't need the title from the jump, but they decided to put it on him. And to me, I go back to how stupid these other guys look. They got their fucking families getting stalked and everything else. All you had to do was just be Goldberg and come in and be like, I want a match. Cool, I'll see you in Saudi Arabia, and then fucking bid him.
He looked like he was going to pass out by the time he was at the bottom of the ramp.
So
It was awful.
It looked like he just wrestled a 40-minute match. He's never done that.
See, Matty, you didn't watch. You could see when he was going to lift him up for the jackhammer, it delayed because he was hesitating. In his head, you could see the cogs working, wondering, am I going to be able to actually do this?
He was like the little engine that could. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. No, you can't. Go home with your son. Go home.
So
wait a minute.
And
So
I
does this-
guarantee you no one, when he came back to that locker room, ever walked up to him and said, hey, Goldberg, you're shit. We're not going to keep this belt on you for very
Where was
long.
Matt Riddle when you need him?
I bet you all of them patted him on the ass and said, oh, great match, Goldberg. Like, great match. What the fuck?
I'm
Does-
so
does
fired
this
up,
say
I
that
forgot
WWE
Andy was on the
has-
phone.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Andy. What'd you say? Andy?
Hi.
Andy?
Does this say that Vince McMahon has no faith in Bray Wyatt going into WrestleMania?
No,
No, it says he's an idiot, Andy.
this is the thing. Here's the thing, right? It doesn't say that. What it said, there's a lot of things here. First of all, they never needed to put the title on this guy. I think
Agreed.
that down the road, you could have put a title on him. And I will say this, and I don't remember who. I wish I could give the credit, but it's a fact. The Undertaker, when his character came up, yes, they put the title on him with Hogan. Pretty quick.
But that was only
They
to
took-
promote a pay-per-view.
Right.
Yeah.
But essentially, The Undertaker's character in those early years never needed a title. It's a mystique of its own.
And also on top of it, too, anytime they put the belt on Undertaker, it was just bad timing, or it was just when he had a run with it, they weren't exactly soaring in the ratings, It was better when he didn't even have the belt.
Outside of the biker, which we talked about last week during the tournament, right? Outside of the American Badass heel run, when you go down Undertaker's title runs, the most iconic stuff from his career was never when he had the title because he didn't need it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great that he had it, but he never needed the
The
title.
most iconic title match he had in 97 when he had that longest run when he was the Phenom was the night he lost it to Bret Hart. That was it, and that was because Shawn Michaels hit him over the head with a steel chair, and that started that rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it now and I'm just like, you did this. You put yourself in this position where I understand that they don't want to go to WrestleMania and they don't want Roman booed out of the building. I get it. So they're doing it. Go ahead, Dandy.
It's still going to happen, though. If they're going
That's
to
the
do
point.
Roman Goldberg,
That's
no
the
one
point.
wants to see that.
Here's the argument I've got.
Yeah.
All right. This is what I've seen a lot of, and I want somebody out there to convince me otherwise. It has been all about Roman doesn't want to get. They don't want Roman getting booed out of it, and I understand that. I can understand that, but this isn't 1998 where not everybody has AOL and it takes fucking 10 minutes just to dial up and get on. Like. It's a different time and age. Everybody, we're smarter now.
It's
Sometimes for our own good.
It was 10 minutes if you were lucky.
Yeah.
Chrome, I honestly don't even think it's about that, to be honest.
I absolutely think it's about that.
No, what I honestly think it is, you hear all this and we talked about it, we were ranting and raving about it a few weeks ago. All this stuff with them partnering with ESPN Plus. They look at, okay, what's going to get more people to buy in. And they see, because it's idiotic, you and I and Maddie and Andy, we know this isn't true because we pay attention to the product. But I believe that what they're doing is, okay, they're going towards ESPN Plus. They think that Goldberg versus the Roman Reigns or Goldberg versus Cena is a bigger match than Wyatt versus Roman.
I don't think so at all because when there's. Let me dive into that in a second. Because it's going to actually tie into all this. I think that the reason we're smarter now, sometimes for our own good, but we are smarter. People know why they're doing this, and they're going to shit on both guys. And then I heard the argument, but it'll be, Goldberg could take the heat and then go away, and it's not as much on Roman. No, it's the opposite.
Whoever wins is going to get the most heat.
No, it's the opposite because Goldberg can do this match and then go away. Roman's going to be the one on TV every week taking
the title.
Heat. They might shit on this as bad as they did with Brock and fucking Goldberg.
That's
in
what I was going to say.
WrestleMania 20.
Yes.
Well, I mean, think about it this way, too. What was the one thing that brought WWE's ratings down when it was at its height and never recovered? They turned Stone Cold Steve Austin heel. Now, obviously, they regret that decision nowadays, but it's just like, did it stop them from making that stupid decision? No, they still rolled with it, and yet every week they lost people. It's like, you still don't learn from your mistakes, do you? You can't force something to happen when the fans don't want it. The fans didn't want Austin to turn heel. They didn't want Roman to be the number one guy. Well, they did, and then they turned on him. And then on top of it, eventually they got tired of John Cena, so they turned on him. It's just like, that's just how it happens anymore these
Maybe
days.
I'm in the minority here. But I believe that this match will get shit on worse than if Roman Reigns would have just beaten The Fiend.
Absolutely.
At least,
Oh, yeah.
at least
totally.
it makes sense. At least it makes sense. Or if you want to take the title off of The Fiend, you could have used anybody from your roster, knowing they're going to get booed for beating The Fiend, and made a monster heel out of somebody. A ready-made shake and bake, let's get ready to go, let's fucking eat at the table, hot heel.
It could have been Corbin.
I'll tell you what, that's the first name I said earlier. You want to throw a guy in there who it doesn't matter if they like him or not, it'll make him as a heel.
Have him cheat to win. Who
Let
cares?
Corbin
He's
be
there.
the guy.
I mean, if worse comes to worse, if you had to have Goldberg beat somebody, why don't you just have a triple threat match and have him pin not the Fiend, pin the other guy?
Well,
And
that's
that was
the
the
only
other
way-
point I made.
No.
That's the only way they can save this at Mania is if it's a triple threat with Roman, Goldberg, and Fiend. And they're not going to do that, though. They're not going to do
There's
that.
no way they do that.
No, I agree. But that's the only way they could save this, and they're not even going to
If
try.
they back themselves into a corner this bad, why couldn't you have a triple threat at Mania with Fiend going in as champion and have somebody else
I hear you.
pinned by Roman?
Because I'm telling you, because they don't believe that the Fiend is a big enough star for the casual fan.
No, see, I where I disagree with the ESPN point is that it's not something that just some of us are talking about. Depending on how this potentially could happen, there's a lot of people, I think, this might be the first real wave they get of people really canceling the network. And if that's the case, you're isolating your fan base. I'm considering I never thought I'd see the day I'd think about canceling the network. I'm considering canceling the network.
Yes, if this
and this doesn't help my cause for
no,
keeping it.
Absolutely not. We talked about it weeks ago before there was even a chance of this. And again, I'm not trying to make it all about the ESPN Plus thing, but to me, we talk about that. How long have we thought it was going to be Fiend and Roman? Everything was etched in stone. And then all of a sudden, and I do not think it's a coincidence, all of a sudden when the ESPN Plus thing becomes serious, all of a sudden you start hearing, oh, well, they're making major changes to the card. I don't think that's by accident. Again, I'm not saying it's a good move. This is WWE shoehorning a show that was already fine as it was.
Are any of us surprised by this, though?
No, not really.
Not.
I'm not surprised at all that this happened. I mean, at this point, it gets to the moment where you're like, listen, WWE likes to sacrifice a lot of talent that they don't deem worthy to be the main guy, and then they're just going to sacrifice them to the main guy. They've always done that. And Bray is the next victim of this. It's just, it is what it is. Even though any one of us in this room, if we were booking right now, would have said, no, Goldberg is not going over in this match. That's just flat out stupid. Vince is looking at it, it's just like, no, we got to get to Mania, and Roman's got to beat Goldberg, and at the end of the day, that's what we're rolling with. Talent's got to get sacrificed to make that happen.
I'm not shocked by it because it's not that I don't understand it, but I don't understand it, if that makes sense. It could have done this with anybody else. I had the argument today that, well, look what happened a couple years ago. They did this to Kevin Owens and they did it to Brock, and those guys came out fine out of this.
Yeah,
well, there's a difference. Kevin Owens wasn't on that level yet. Kevin Owens wasn't. Look at Seth Rollins. We don't appreciate the first heel run until after he had the face run and now heel run to realize how great it was. Hold on, let me finish this point because I don't want to lose my train of thought. With
I
this.
got you.
But you have Kevin Owens and Brock. Yeah, that happened then. But there was a history there. There was a want to see the Brock Lesnar Goldberg history kind of wrapped up. We wanted to see this program properly done that we never got to see back when WrestleMania 20 had happened. Mm-hmm. It was a different time then. Now, you're putting him against this fucking character that you chose to make out of the gate to be what it is, and you are destroying it. It's not right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Another thing, too.
For a guy who we don't give a shit about.
Yeah, and on top of it, Owens, yeah, he recovered from it, but at the same time, it's just like, Owens is not a character that is unstoppable. That's not how you built him up to be. He's a guy who likes to break the rules and have Jericho interfere in his matches, and that's how he wins. Like, fine. That's understandable if he takes a loss. On top of that, too, Brock, it's like, well, okay, whatever. It's Brock Lesnar. He's going to recover from anything. At the end of the day, it's like, this is a character you built up to be this unstoppable force. You can't, one size doesn't fit all in booking. Just because there's people out there who may know that it's not real, quote unquote, doesn't mean that you can just slap them right across the face and say, you're a fucking idiot, and we're going to treat you like one.
Has Kevin Owens really recovered from that, though?
No.
Let's be honest.
No.
Not at all.
You know, these guys, yeah, Kevin Owens is a popular guy and people like him.
He went to another show. He was an IC champion or U.S. champion, whatever the hell it was. And then he's kind of been in limbo since
He
then.
had a real awful run for a while. And not on him, he was still entertaining. But has he recovered? No. No, he's still digging his way out.
And here's what I don't understand. There's a million things I don't understand with this. I get it. I honestly get it. That nostalgia sells. I understand. When you talk about the entire show, that, oh my God, Goldberg goes over, Brock goes over, Undertaker goes over. But you know what all three of those have in common? They were all on the same friggin' roster in 2004. It's 2020. I understand. Again, I love it when the old guys come back because it reminds us of the good old days when the product wasn't complete garbage. I love it. We talked about it last week, Chrome. You know, over the weekend, I went back and I watched WrestleMania 2000, 2001, 2002, and it made me happy but sad at the same time. I was happy because I was watching something that was good and pure and entertaining, but then the sadness started coming in that was 20 years ago.
Yep.
That was 20 years ago. I don't get I don't think they understand that in 10 years, that all that nostalgia is going to be gone. That these guys are going to be 10 years older, and then all these stars that they didn't build up, except for one guy, John Cena, there's not going to be any nostalgia to go back to. If you're not building guys now, it's embarrassing that this show, and we joke about it all the time, that, oh, the Saudi Arabia shows, once it happens, it's like it never happened. That was like the best part about these shows, that it was a house show. They didn't matter. Unfortunately, this one does.
Yeah.
You bury
In a big
one
way.
guy, you bury another, and then you're like, oh, wait, those guys you just buried in 20 seconds, they're the core young faces of the company before one of the biggest shows of the year. Idiots.
No, you're not, Roski. You ain't no damn Universal Champion.
Might as well be, Dave. Might as well be. Damn it.
He'll have a more believable run than Goldberg will.
It's just, I've said it before. Nostalgic acts are fun.
But they shouldn't be holding titles in 2020.
No.
Especially all at the
not
same
at all.
time. All at the same time.
Now, does anybody think that this is because of the fact that WWE, as well as people, have hyped up that period of time in WWE when they were competing with WCW, so much so that WWE has made it a crutch to the point where they will constantly go back to it and say, oh, but remember, you remember this guy from them? Yeah, you remember him? You remember that guy? Yeah, we're going to have these guys show up and do a match and everything and have them win a title. It's going to be like it's 1998 all over again. It's like 2000, 2001. It's like you can't go back. You can't recreate that. That was special. That was a special
That
time.
was organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agreed, Andy. There's people that, sometimes we bitch about some of the stuff that they put on Saudi when it comes to like, oh, how are you going to have Shawn Michaels return match or, a one-off in Saudi Arabia? Whatever. You know what, though? It doesn't matter to anything. So, honestly,
I can deal with it. I'll roll
That is-
my
I'm
eyes for an
okay with
afternoon.
it.
Yes.
That's not a big deal. you know?
I'm okay with it. If you're going to do it there. If you want to have a match at WrestleMania, have it. But you have that every year already. I don't need a title match for it, a program for that.
I just won't be able to get over that we spent 9 months devoted to one of the most original, strangest, more exciting characters that we've seen with a wrestler, Bray Wyatt, before the mask, before all this, that we knew was really talented. We always have known that. We devoted 9 months going through the process with this character, only to see it come and burst into flames on a random Thursday afternoon in Saudi friggin' Arabia.
Yep.
It wasn't Mania. It wasn't SummerSlam. Hell, it wasn't even Great Balls of Fire. It was a random Thursday in Saudi Arabia. That's how to a 60-year-old. I don't give a damn if he's 50, 60, or 70. He shouldn't be in the match.
What did
wait a minute,
what did you say, Andy?
Goldberg's 53.
He's 50.
I'm proud of him. Happy birthday.
He's actually older than I thought. That makes it even
Let's
worse.
get a few things straight here. This is what this match has taught me. One, WWE character shelf life has about anywhere from 6 months to a year before they just say, screw it, and we're going to scrap it. 2, the only saving grace here is if the Fiend somehow gets that WrestleMania moment that he didn't get at 33 with Randy.
It's going to come against John Cena, man. We already know that. And that's just before you continue, I'm going to add this because that's a point I was actually going to make earlier and I forgot. The whole thing now is they're going to sell you on him and John Cena. Cena's going to put him over, and that's going to be the big redemption moment. So let's be real. We know that they're going to give him the moment at WrestleMania. To me, it pales in comparison. I feel like a loss to Roman would still do more for him than John Cena, who hasn't shown up for over a year, who has a terrible fucking hair part now.
We already saw Cena and Wyatt. We saw that already. We saw it.
Well, they should have done that at WrestleMania 30, him going over, but they didn't do it then, so it's too late now. You can't make up for lost time. You screwed it up back then.
Go ahead, Andy. Continue your point.
So, all right, let's say he does go against John Cena, right?
We know he is.
Yeah, all right, but who's going to care, to your point, if he wins? It's not a redemption moment. It's really not.
No.
Nope.
The redemption is, the redemption's beating Roman at WrestleMania, if anything.
Let me Let me ask you a
I don't
question.
think he needs to take that loss.
Let me ask you and Ryan a question because you guys watched it, and I'll get your reaction too.
Sure.
And it can be short, but it looked even more ridiculous to me that they had him after the match was over. He pops right up, stands behind Goldberg while he's holding the title up in the corner, and then just disappears.
And Goldberg doesn't even turn and acknowledge him.
It was absolutely ridiculous because I
It
knew
was awkwardly stupid.
I know exactly what they're thinking. Oh, this means that Goldberg won the battle but not the war. Oh my God, even when he's defeated, he's still unbeatable. Screw you. Screw you. It's dumb. If you're going to kill him in the ring, just have him lay in there. Stop.
Honestly, at this point, you could have Bray Wyatt as the Fiend come out and trash every single main event star you have and go and bring people from AEW and have him trash them. Have him trash people from Japan. And at the end of the day, I will give a shit about none of it because he's lost all that appeal to me because he lost this match here tonight. It's stupid. It was stupid.
If the Fiend never popped up. If you want the lights to go out, come back on and the body's gone, fine. I get it. You want to have that. But don't have him pop up. You do the little shtick, and then you have Michael Cole go, and he's gone. Nah.
It was equivalent to me of what earlier in the program Bobby Lashley did to R-Truth. Bobby Lashley gets pinned, and then Bobby Lashley beats up R-Truth. It was the same thing, and we've seen it 100 times in WWE of, quick pin, but the guy gets redemption, he's beating him up. No, the object of the whole wrestling is to win the match. Therefore, I don't care if you get some extra couple cheap shots in after the match. You lost the friggin' match.
Oh, it's the same tired spot they do when they think that the wrestler's hurt, so they go to the back, and then they come back later in the match. I hate that spot, too. That's done way too much anymore these days as well. But,
Maybe I'm nitpicking here since you brought up the R-Truth Lashley thing. Why do they,
I know where you're
it's so common sense, but, when a guy is pinned in a gauntlet match, the next guy comes right out.
Yeah.
As a company, why are we promoting guys to get beat up? In a logical standpoint.
Yes.
We should be encouraging you to get out of the ring for the next guy to come in. But we're going to give you 10 minutes now to beat up the guy before we hit the music. Not let's hit the music and remind the guy, get the fuck out of the ring.
And who was the next guy? Andrade? Who was the next guy who came out?
No,
It was R-Truth and Lashley start. Andrade comes out next.
And Andrade,
and then AJ.
And then Andrade, it was kind of like the Rhea Ripley thing. You see what Rhea Ripley did on NXT?
Yeah.
She's coming down to save Shayna Baszler, but she's gonna still do the. She's still got to do the stomp.
Stomping.
And I'm like, what are you doing? It was so stupid.
Yeah.
It's like,
Did you see that?
I did see that.
It's like, oh no, don't worry, guys, I'm in a hurry, but I got to do my spot. Yeah. I got to do my dance move.
Bianca, I know that you're about to get your ankle shattered. I know you're going to be put in the figure 8, but I got to make sure.
So dumb.
It's like the family's getting kidnapped, but I gotta do my dance routine first.
Awkward.
I gotta do my sing along. I gotta
awkward.
sing about my feelings first.
And I have to snare at you while you continue to hold the move.
This is oh my
This
God.
is where that's worse than the Ronda being pissed off in the back and then smiling with the kids coming out. It's worse than that.
Back over on. Okay.
It's like you just gotta love how it's just WWE just man, they just don't give a fuck. They do not care at all. I think this proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. We do not care, guys. Listen, we don't even know why you still watch us. At this point, we don't care. We're just gonna piss you off every day, every week now. I love it. Vince cares not at all about anyone.
Crow, once you're done with the chat, I do have something for
Frank
you.
Vespi says, "Hey yo," Frank from the studio says, "Hey yo, sorry to bother you at work. It's like I'm up close and personal with everyone tonight."
Yeah, it's like
yes, you are.
Really?
5 feet from me.
He says, to answer the poll, I don't know. I'm just watching AEW because who wants to book a 53-year-old Goldberg winning your top title?
Vince does.
Agreed. But we also have a late 40s champion. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but I can't make the 53-year-old argument, Frank. And now, the Goldberg being 53 argument, I can make that with you. You're absolutely right. Well, and I guess I really fell behind. Andy's telling us he was on Saturday nights here. Shut up, Andy.
Make me.
I mean, I could literally disconnect the phone
I
right
can
now.
literally just press the button that
Yeah.
says mute on the
Brodo
board.
has a mute.
I'm literally have the finger on it, Andy.
Jake Friel from the Weekly Roundup says all the Fiend build up was for nothing. Yes, for nothing. My guy Pete from sometimes he hops on with us for lazy booking, but he's on Birds of a Feather, says I feel indifferent about the ending because the match should have never taken place. You read that one. Mm-hmm. But then he says they thought they could get away with shit booking because it was in Saudi Arabia. Jay Vosi says, I'm sure AEW loves this. Pete also says, true in part, but if Roman wins in a squash because it's the LWCI's, Goldberg is worse than Roman.
And if AEW is taking the time out of their busy day to watch a Thursday night Saudi Arabia show, they're fucked in the head because they should be focusing on fixing their show right now.
I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to talk about it. I have no excitement going into this show, and I should because the card's actually pretty decent. The program was terrible this week.
There's one thing that when you talk about this show, I saw it. I want to see if you picked up on it.
On AEW?
No.
On Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
Saudi Arabia. On okay. Pete says, and even the Goldberg-Lesnar match in Mania didn't need the title. Agree with that, Pete. Says, too often Vince uses the title with talents who don't need it to be elevated. Agreed. Roska, you're not a champion, man. Please stop posting that. It makes no sense.
Could somebody get Vince his Alzheimer's medication? I think he's suffering from senility right now. Maybe a little bit of dementia on top of it. I think we need to take Vince to the home. I think he needs to sit in his rocking chair, his gilded rocking chair, and have Linda just come and pay him visits,
When you have the one opposite side of the card, and that was obviously the ending. The beginning. Oh.
I think he's suffering from senility.
Oh, I forgot. I'm on the phone. I can't pull up
I'm
YouTube.
like, where's Maddie coming from?
What'd you say, Andy?
I went to pull up the YouTube chat.
I'm like, wait a second, where is that coming from?
The YouTube chat started feeding through the. Oh, my bad.
I'm like,
whoops.
Everything's muted over here.
There is a couple comments on YouTube when you get a minute.
Okay. So obviously we know how ridiculous the ending was. Did you notice something about the beginning?
About the beginning in terms
of the first match? What they were fighting for?
The aggro crag.
Thank you.
What the hell?
Yeah. Andy, turn him up a little bit.
He's fully up on your phone.
Speak again, Andy.
I said it's like the aggro crag. Is this Global Guts all over again?
Yeah,
it was literally the aggro crag from Tuesday.
And we literally just had this conversation on Tuesday night about Guts and the aggro crag. It was
Did you really?
It was uncanny how amazingly timed the aggro crag trophy ended up being on WWE.
And then at the end of it, when Taker, he doesn't even look at the aggro crag.
They announced that he wins it.
There.
Yeah, they announced that he wins it. He didn't even take it with him.
He didn't even look at it.
I've wanted one of those things my entire life. Undertaker just takes it for granted and walks by.
What was more ridiculous, the fact that they were fighting for the aggro crag or that he didn't even take off his effing hat?
Oh, but his hat kind of popped up. Did you see
Well,
that?
yeah. It was probably, and then there's conspiracy theorists online that's saying he didn't take off the hat because he was wearing a wig.
Oh, well, that's just idiots. He's not bald.
Shut up.
We know he's not bald.
Did you see the Stone Cold show? Anyway, all right, never mind. But no, to be honest with you, I don't think Taker cared because all Taker saw was that nice paycheck that he was going to get for showing up and doing his thing. Like, what's this piece of metal shit that you're giving me? I just want my money, man. Get the hell out of this country.
But this was
Now, to be fair, it doesn't fit Undertaker's character to pick up the aggro crag and walk back with it.
Well, I don't want to hear what fits his character or not. It's the aggro crag.
He wasn't even in the match. He wasn't in the match.
Well, apparently he was because he won it.
He wasn't in the match.
He took Ray's spot. But
We Royal Rumbled that shit.
let me say though, outside of the aggro crag, I liked the way this was booked. Outside of I hate the spots. I hate where like they just conveniently wait to hit music until a guy gets the shit beat out of him. It's just a common sense thing for me.
I liked when he
And
showed up.
That's nitpicking though. I loved it.
That was cool.
Perfectly done. You know, you have the spot that you've already seen where those guys beat the hell out of Rey Mysterio. They go away from it. AJ cuts his promo in the ring. All of a sudden, they go back to the backstage. Same place with those same guys now knocked to the ground, and you just see his feet with the long coat. It was perfect.
Yeah, that was
they
cool.
did it the right way.
And then it all went downhill.
That was fine. I had no problem with
It
the way
doesn't
all
worry you
went.
that he couldn't really get AJ Styles up for a choke slam.
He almost dropped AJ, yeah.
Are they going to blame that on the trench coat and the hat?
I don't know. But overall, that was good. I enjoyed that part of it. Let's just go through what else. I didn't watch Bailey and Naomi.
No,
You didn't miss much.
No.
I heard they used
I
the
had to
shirt
mow the
for
lawn.
the finish.
I had to mow the
Yeah,
lawn.
it was sloppy.
Yeah. Had to mow the lawn in the wintertime.
Boy, I tell you,
There's a couple.
no one gave a shit when Bailey was a babyface, and no one gives even less of a shit when she's a heel.
Man.
But anyway,
When
But
you're
it was actually sloppy on Naomi's part. Let me be clear there.
I don't care. That's the problem. I don't care. There's nothing that I care about to give her a benefit down on anything.
We don't feel the glow, Andy. We do not feel the glow.
I don't care about Naomi. I don't care about Bailey at this point. It says a lot when a Bailey match is your bathroom break on a Thursday afternoon show in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I used that as a bathroom break when I was at work and not even watching. I ironically had my piss time that to know that this is the time I should be going to the bathroom right now.
We're not going to talk about Lesnar destroying.
We're
Ricochet
getting there,
here.
Andy.
Hey,
You flow on our
hey,
flow here.
You.
all right. So let's see here.
I didn't watch much of Corbin and Roman either because
No.
I don't care
I was
other
also
than the
mowing the
fact
lawn.
that they
Roman 37.
they finally have put an end to it. That's the only thing I cared about.
We hope.
It's
Are
done.
you sure? We all thought that before.
I can't wait to see them in a tag
No,
match
because
tomorrow.
Ryan said they're probably going to do a blow off at Saudi Arabia, which is what they did.
Yeah.
I think it's done. I think they move Corbin on to something else.
All right. So next up, we got the SmackDown tag titles. The Miz and Morrison defeat the New Day to become the new tag team champions of SmackDown.
Inevitable. We knew that was happening eventually.
It's a good match.
It was fine.
Again, something that affects WrestleMania going forward, though, that they did on the Saudi Arabia show.
Sure.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
This is you could kind of throw that into nostalgia because it was a little while ago. Last time Miz and Morrison were
11
tag champs.
years.
But here's the thing, though. They're still capable of going in there and having really great matches.
Yeah.
So it's not far-fetched to see them come back
There's
as
no-
a tag team and win the tag
There's
titles.
nothing nostalgic about it. They're technically still in their prime.
Maybe they
Technically, it's just been a long time since
Like,
you've seen them.
maybe they should have beat the Fiend. I don't know. Maybe they can wrestle more than 30-second
like,
matches.
there's nothing nostalgic about that because they're still currently going. If they were guys who were retired for 5 or 10 years and came back and won the fucking tag team titles, then we're talking nostalgia.
They're just crafty veterans.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure Vince probably thought Morrison was retired for a while there because it's not like he knew that there was
Listen,
other wrestling out
we
there.
knew that
But anyway.
they essentially bought Morrison in to recreate this tag team and give them a run.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with it. I liked
That's
it. The
fine.
match was good. It was good enough.
it wasn't a disaster, so
was
I
good.
thank them.
It
for
was
that.
which gives it a plus.
Which makes it the best match of the
Listen,
night.
you got 4. I would disagree with that, but you got 4 guys that can work. I enjoyed it. It was good.
All right. Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo.
That was another good match, but how many times are we going to see this already? Whatever.
I was mowing the lawn.
I
Angel
feel,
Garza goes over Humberto Correa again.
I feel bad for Humberto Carrillo. He puts on great matches, but, no
but
one ever
he-
really
Oh,
does
he's
any-
got the personality of a wet paper bag.
That's what happens.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
Manny,
shame.
You mean somebody that puts on good matches doesn't get over all the time? Like Bray Wyatt, you mean? Is that like him, Manny?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same ballpark.
Oh, they should
Sort
be
of.
on. Maybe that should be a tag team.
As in, Carrillo does the most worthless position in sitting on the bench on the baseball team, and Wyatt's supposed to be the closer. But anyway, all right, on to the WWE Raw Tag Team titles. Murphy and Rollins defeat the Street Profits. I'm still confused as to why Murphy and Rollins are tag champs and not AOP, but
was-
that's just me.
Yeah, but this was a great match. I thought this match was really good.
Yeah.
I thought, to me, this was the match of the card.
All right.
All right.
I actually think that it's a shame that this wasn't a WrestleMania match. And I think on that they would have let loose even a little bit more.
What are they doing? Well, I guess what are we getting? Rollins, Owens?
There's going to be something with Rollins. I mean,
it's weird because I guess they would have to drop the tag belts at the next pay-per-view.
that or Owens ends up with a tag partner and they end up doing a tag title match.
John Cena.
Now he's going to be against The Fiend, jobbing out to The Fiend.
I would say
Maybe
they would-
Ricochet, since,
I would say if they are planning on putting
I
the belts on
wouldn't, whatever.
AOP at
I'm
some
in.
point, I would say they lose the belts at Elimination Chamber and AOP wins the belts at WrestleMania. I mean,
Maybe.
that to me, if
I
you
don't-
want to go with
that's-
Rollins and his stable being dominant on Raw,
Let me make this clear real quick. Just because they're good henchmen for Seth Rollins doesn't move the needle at a single ounce from anything I've ever said on this show that makes me believe that the AOP isn't green as shit and should not be tag team champions.
He should be with Samoa Joe. Oh, wait, he was suspended.
I am not an AOP guy. I don't
Neither
find
am
them
I.
awesome. They look good. They make great henchmen, but they have injured numerous people over time. I think they're sloppy workers, and I think they suck. There's no other way to put it. I'm not an AOP guy. I like them in the role
How you
as
really
the
feel.
henchman.
what did Andy say?
Just tell me how you really feel.
All right, next up, Mansoor defeated Dolph Ziggler.
Well, you know you're going to get this match on the Saudi show.
Did you see that moonsault, Chrome? Chrome, you just talked about green people for 14 seconds.
Right, but he's the first guy, like first of their own people. They're going to put him on the Saudi
No,
show.
I'm not saying you shouldn't.
Right.
My point is, can we learn a moonsault?
But there's a reason why he's not doing anything other than that show.
I just wanted him to learn a moonsault.
He'll
It's your
learn.
4th year.
He'll get
Can you
there.
just learn a moonsault?
He'll get there. His
But hey,
matches were fine.
let's give it to the greatest jobber of all time, next to Barry Horowitz, Dolph Ziggler at the end of the day, for going in there and doing one hell of a job, as he always does, to lose to someone that really, that's what he's supposed to do.
Listen, I mean, some could argue that you got Iron Mike Sharp out there. You got Tito Santana out there.
Well,
Let's
I mean,
not crown
yours
Barry
is more
already.
the Tito one on that one,
Let's not
but I
crown
mean,
Barry yet.
but I will say though, Barry Horowitz was one hell of a jobber in
Yeah.
his day.
Surprised Mansoor didn't win the aggro crag.
Why not?
I wonder if he would have picked it up. Actually looked at it.
And they would have played his national anthem too.
Oh, probably.
I think that's a requirement. I think you have to do that there. But anyway.
Freaking Mansoor.
All right, so next up, let's go. We've got the WWE title match. Brock Lesnar defeating Ricochet in a minute and 30 seconds.
What the hell, man?
Ricochet didn't even come to the party.
Can I ask you guys a question?
You sure can.
Are you surprised by this? Because I'm not even disappointed by it because I knew it was pretty much what was going to happen.
There was a glimmer of hope that we would get not the Daniel Bryan Lesnar match, because that was like, it's hard to recreate that. Like, we were talking when this match was announced, like that, if they were going to do this type of match with Lesnar and Ricochet, the only way to make it work is to model it off of obviously Daniel Bryan and Ricochet. Or I'm sorry, Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar. I wasn't expecting it to be a 90-second squash.
I was.
Yeah, the fact that he didn't get any offensive in bothers me.
It's awful. It's absolutely like I get it. It's all about people watching it, and it's all for the people that are watching it there. Why even make this match? Why?
You think Brock walked up to him and say, "Hey, you ain't doing none of that flippy shit in the match."
He lost it. Like, forget about me bitching about, the AJ Styles not even being able to be chokeslammed correctly, or Undertaker's hat, or the aggro crag, or Brock Lesnar, or Bray Wyatt, or Goldberg. Ricochet was the loser in this event, because I don't know how that guy recovers. Because he was.
You could build a redemption. It's Brock Lesnar. That's different. To me.
I would say you make Ricochet U.S. champ and give him a run this time around. Don't just take it right the hell off of
Those
him.
titles don't mean shit.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, apparently they don't. Especially the Universal title, it doesn't mean a damn thing at this point. So
Like, he's kind of where Finn Balor was like a year and a half ago, where like he had all the promise in the world, and he's kind of just chilling. He's floundering. Like, you know what he can be. But it's like, it's Finn.
He's with Heyman though. I have confidence that Heyman's gonna fight. Heyman loves him. I
certainly
have full
showed it in
confidence.
that match, huh, Crow?
I will, but I didn't expect any differently. You guys are putting too much emphasis with this. You're putting too much emphasis on this Brock Lesnar match. There are clear signs that Paul Heyman, who is a huge Ricochet guy, has a vision for him. He's not. This is different to me than the Fiend losing to Goldberg.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
It's totally different. Kofi lost to him in like 8 seconds, whatever it was. 7 seconds. Shut up, Andy. 7 seconds.
Yeah, and has he recovered?
That's why I said like.
Has Kofi recovered since then?
Yeah, he won a fucking tag title.
Oh, again, you're gonna those titles don't mean anything either. Chrome, come on.
It's the New
don't
Day.
you dare say don't. You can't do this. You can't be like, oh, the other 2 titles don't matter, but the illustrious tag team titles matter. Stop.
I think the New Day make it matter.
Well, of course, because they have it every 3
I think the
months.
tag team now. I don't look at Mrs. I don't look at Mrs. Morrison.
New Day.
Yeah.
I'm really bored of them now.
They're just
I don't
around for
care about
merch.
what they
Come
do
I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's a new day every day. Yeah. You need to get on board.
Well, apparently
It
not,
is a new
because
day every
Goldberg
day,
and Brock
but
Lesnar are still
apparently
champion.
the New Day needs to go.
Apparently, it's not a new day. It's still 2004.
No, 98 because
I-
Goldberg won the world title.
I
excuse me.
have a feeling that when Xavier Woods comes back, the New Day is not going to be around for very long after
We're
that.
finally getting the turn. Is that what you're telling me?
I have a feeling that that's what's going to happen. Book it, mark it
I
down
can't
right
even-
now.
Andy knows I can't even get excited about it anymore. I can't. I've spent too long hoping for the Big E / Xavier Woods heel turn.
I
can't.
wouldn't be shocked because Andy, do you know how far? I know we got to go to break. Do you know how far Xavier Woods is from coming back?
No, but I can find out.
It's like right around the corner, right? Like they've been talking
He's
about
really
him.
close.
He's very, very close. If he's back before Mania, I wouldn't be shocked if at WrestleMania you get a New Day triple threat. Or
I believe when I see it.
or SummerSlam.
Oh, great. We have another 6 months.
Yeah, but you could. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Stop crying about everything.
I'm not crying. Really? We're crying? We're crying now?
Yes.
I mean, WWE has been able to move people to cry, both negatively and positively.
All right,
So.
we're gonna take our break. Andy, you gonna stick with us for the other half?
Yeah, I'll stick around.
All right, so we're gonna take our break. On the other side, we'll maybe tie this up in a bow. And
Hey,
I mean
real
that.
quick before you go, Truth says there's no timetable to come back. It could be anywhere from 4 to 5 months to Survivor Series next year. This was in this article, December 17th, 2019.
Okay, well,
Free
that
same for
changed
Xavier
everything.
Woods.
Yeah.
They literally said on the air today that he's gonna be back like around the corner.
Maybe, but maybe not in a physical capacity.
No, they literally said he's on the cusp of coming back.
Oh.
If that was from December, he could be. I mean, that's almost 3 months ago. That could change easily. Back to the music.
Yep.
Keep looking, buddy. I love you.
Love you too.
Okay, so we are brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy, and Dr. Paul Vidal can take care of any aches and pains, maybe a few mental issues that you may possibly have, especially from the writers here in WWE. And all you gotta do is find them at www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com.
Ambuck Services, gutter cleaning, tree trimming, deck restoration, installation, anything you guys need, hit them up. AmbuckServices.com and ATS Sports Picks. Promo code A2D gets you 20% off. ATSSportsPick.com. On the other side, we'll tie this up in a bow. We'll get into AEW.
I'm not excited about any of it.
I'm Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and everybody's got a price for lazy booking. Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to Lazy Booking. Go, it's true. It's damn true. Ho! Hey, folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and if you want to know what's going on in wrestling, check out Lazy Bookings. Ho!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Lazy Booking right here on A2TRadio.com, live from the Real Talk Studios here in Runnymede, New Jersey, brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy. If you've got any aches and pains, contact Dr. Paul Vidal. Find him on www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com.
And hey, you need your gutters clean, you need deck restoration, you need any of that stuff done, tree trimming, hit up Ambuck Services. There are guys that are best in the business, ambuckservices.com. Our second half poll question, we're going to dig into AEW, guys. We got a pay-per-view on Saturday night, AEW Revolution. That's brought to you by QB54. It's the best tailgating game in the business. Check them out. Find them on the web, playqb54.com. They're awesome. Check it out. And use the promo code No Notes. Get you how much off, Mr. Brodo?
20% off.
20% off, guys. That's
Nice.
that's a healthy chunk, guys.
That is.
You know, some people get you 5% off. This, no, A2D gets you 20% off of things, guys. So let's roll with it. Let's go. The AEW card this weekend. It looks good on paper. We're gonna roll through that.
It looks good in theory.
A couple comments that we missed over here on the YouTube, though. A couple names I've never seen before, so I want to make sure I get them in here because this is a platform where your voice can be heard, where we want you guys to interact and get in and get your stuff in. You know, similar to Rhea Ripley getting her stomp in at the end of NXT. This is a place for you to get your stuff in.
This is my brutality.
Over on the YouTube earlier, we had Eddie Sanchez. I've seen Eddie. Eddie's been in here before. He says Goldberg winning against The Fiend was awful. They completely ruined The Fiend's character. Enjoy it, bro. What's up, Enjoy it, bro? Never seen him in the chat before.
Hey, what's up?
So welcome to the show. He says Vince needs to croak. There's a reason WWE stock dropped 50% this year. He says that the Pac Omega match was awesome. Probably when I said earlier that I didn't like the program. I agree. It was a good match. We'll get into that in a second. And Raymond Rivera, what's up, Raymond? He says Taker didn't even break a sweat, and he won the aggro crack.
Like
he says the trophy. I call it the
It's like we
crack.
spent years like waiting and counting down the seconds until Vince, quote unquote, left to go run the XFL.
Right.
And it's gotten worse since he's left, quote unquote. It's gotten worse.
Yep. But our QB54 topic of conversation specific to the card, Cody will defeat MJF at AEW Revolution. Agree, disagree. We also have Mr. Andy Ritter on the line here. Andy,
What is going on, everybody?
welcome back. Andy Ritter with us from In This Very Ring. That's why I spoke slowly. Brodo forgot you were on the line,
He was
too.
so quiet. I forgot he was still here.
How do you forget me, Brodo?
I forgot. I was so worried about everything. I'm like, oh, wait, Andy. Andy's still here.
Andy is the silent majority
He
of
was
Lazy
so
Booking.
quiet over there.
And listen, don't forget, you can check out Andy on In This Very Ring on Saturday nights.
Saturdays.
Saturdays.
Saturday night.
They went from being Action Zone to Shotgun Saturday Night. So I guess it's a step up in the world for the B show.
I mean,
Dick.
a little bit.
I paused to wait for the reaction. So, Andy, we're going to dive into AEW here. Mr. Sensuti has the card. We're going to go through. And again, guys, we want you on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're at, wherever you're watching us, Twitter, Instagram. We want you guys to jump in and throw us who you think is going to win. Tell us what match is going to excite you for the AEW card. To address what was said earlier, and again, I'm nitpicky. I can't help it. It's one thing, JR makes me nitpick at things. He does. It's just, I can't ever get over it.
I
Didn't hate the Dippin' Dots thing, actually. I kind of thought it was cheesy, but it was kind of funny. I hated the initial comment, but when he threw him into the Dippin' Dots, I liked the follow-up. But I thought the Omega Pac match was very good. Here's my beef with the Omega Pac match. And I mentioned to you earlier. I see a lot of unnecessary mistakes on AEW that to me happens a lot with top talent too that they have, that it irks me. It sticks to me. And so because I see a lot of it, I now notice it even more. And it's a simple spot, and I guess to the naked eye you can miss it. But the point where Omega is outside of the ring and he has to get in before the 10 count. Clearly, with the pace that the referee was counting, it's almost like he forgot to get in the ring. It was clearly a count out. That being said, they had the luxury to have a misstep with that, and it's an Iron Man match. So on the fly, you can count them out, do what you got to do, and then on the fly, come up with another way, a small package, anything, to just tie the score back up then. It's a simple solution, but because you don't do that, and because the referee waits 3 or 4 seconds to count that last second when he's on a complete certain pace for 1 through 9, I notice it. And it's from a guy like Omega. You know, how many times have we seen multiple times on AEW's program somebody forget to kick out and the referee just stops and acts like they got their shoulder up? And then they show the replay that he doesn't. That's another thing. They go back and re-show the replay. Like, take something from professional sports. Ryan will notice, like from baseball, where before the replay rule, what they would do is if an umpire made a bad call, guess what they weren't doing? The home team wasn't showing the play on the on the big screen. You're always the home team when you're AEW and it's your program. Don't replay the mistake. And that stuff, it's a small nitpick, but it takes me out of certain things because I'm like, come on, man, you guys are better than that. You could have worked around that.
You could have steered into it and just decided, you know what, we'll just have an extra fall before the 30-minute time limit comes up.
But you even go to a sudden death. Like, why even have that moment?
Well, you talk about time constraints and whatnot. I understand how they work through things, but they literally could have on the fly, all right, man, I messed this up, dude. What are we going to do? Roll me up. That's it. Roll me up. Something simple. He could have did a spot where he put him in the corner, whipped him in the corner, he moves, hits his shoulder, and then he rolls him up out of the corner.
Yeah, it wouldn't have taken away from the drama of the match.
How long did it take for us to think of that?
Not long.
I'm just saying.
Like, it would have been a quick 1, 2, 3. They have a grace period, and then after the grace period ends,
these are two of the best workers in the world. You know.
All
right. You know.
Okay. So we go from the opening match of AEW Dynamite, and now we have AEW Revolution here.
Okay.
The tag team matchup to start off here is SCU, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky. Daniels will be in the corner against the Dark Order, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson.
I don't think he's going to be the, what's his name, the Anointed One or whatever they call him.
What is it, Frank?
The Exalted One. Right. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. I don't think he's going to be the Exalted One, but I do believe that Christopher Daniels is going to end up costing SCU and joining the Dark Order.
Ooh.
I don't.
Who do you think is the leader of the Dark Order?
Well,
or who do you think it's
Vince
going to
McMahon.
be?
What?
Shut up, Andy.
it was me. This whole AEW thing is just a big work.
Yes.
No.
It was me, Austin.
Oh, if that happens, you would see everyone in audience commit suicide right there.
So here, all right, so I'm going to say this, okay? I could see it being Brody Lee. They keep dropping Matt Hardy. Today, this week they use obsolete to specifically kind of describe, what's going to happen on the program. I think it's a smoke screen. I don't know if anybody noticed last week. Raven was sitting in the background.
He
was just randomly there. Yeah.
I hope it's not him because he doesn't look good.
Listen, I won't tell this story on the air. I have a Raven story.
Oh, Jesus.
That is a weird cat.
Well, I think we all kind of knew
but he's
that.
always been a weird cat. I have a story about him that I can't say it on the air. He's a weird cat.
You
Weird
mean to
cat.
tell me a guy whose character is Raven is a cult leader is a weird guy in real
He
life?
is a real. When I tell you guys a story, and Andy, you can hang on the line after we get off. He is a weird cat.
He's a stranger than the Ric Flair story.
Where I saw his dick.
Oh, so you could say that one on the air. Okay.
Yeah, that one was. It's worse than that. It's exceedingly
worse than that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's save this for off the
All right.
air.
So, next up, Orange Cassidy.
What is that guy's purpose?
And
He has none.
Well,
Like mosquitoes.
first of all, let's give our winners here. I think the dark.
yeah,
This is
Why?
complete waste
Like,
of
why
time.
is this-
See here, okay, I will.
It was cute the first time in a
Hands
battle
in the
royal.
pockets.
It was cute the first couple times, but like, I'm over it. It's so indie, and I'm not knocking indie wrestling, but when you're on a presentation on a major cable network, it's just it takes away from me. It takes away from me in a big way.
Yeah, and it's a stupid gimmick, but all right.
Roscoe wants to know why I mentioned Ric Flair's dick. I saw his dick, man.
Everything's okay.
It's a story that was
Everything's
told on the
all
air
right, Dave.
before. It wouldn't be the first time
Dave,
I
it's
told.
fine.
That was-
It'll be fine.
It's
Dave.
not like I'm
That's
like.
what he focused in on.
It's not like I'm special or anything. I mean, thousands of
Yeah.
people have seen Ric Flair's dick.
I mean, at the end of the day, he is one of the few males who could say he saw Space Mountain. But
I have, and I didn't even have to wait in line.
all right, you got to get one of those T-shirts though, Space Mountaineer.
Yeah. Although he would like to know that he would probably love to know that I was waiting in line for Trish Stratus when I saw it.
Well, you got in the wrong line.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I didn't.
On to-
No, I did not get in the wrong line. I
It
in
was
the
your
right line.
destiny.
it was your destiny.
The timing I was in the line was a little awkward.
Fast pass? Any fast pass?
I mean, do I reshare this story real quick? It's a 2-second story.
Sure, go
I
right
feel like
ahead.
we might
If
as
you
well.
want to,
We've
for those
told
who
half of
haven't
it
heard
already.
I was at WrestleCon in Orlando, and we were in line, me and my buddy, to meet Trish Stratus and Lita. And Ric Flair was at his table. He was wrapping up his table, and he stood up, and his pants were undone, like zipper down, buckle undone. And then as we were standing there, like me and my buddy were like, "This is weird. His pants are undone." And then we look over again, and he does like the old man pull your pants out and go to tuck your shirt in, and his fucking penis was just out in the open at WrestleCon. And I'm like, I think I saw this. And I literally look at my buddy, and he looks at me, and I was like,
Hello, ladies.
did I just see Ric Flair's dick? And he's like, I think we just saw Ric Flair's dick. And I'm like, we definitely just saw Ric Flair's dick.
You know Ric Flair better than most people do.
Or at least
That's my Ric Flair's penis
2%
story.
of the population.
Yeah.
That was my Ric Flair's penis story. Yeah. Because of that, we saw Ric Flair's penis.
And I feel like that's
Hey, man.
that's the best of the week clip, by the way.
Go to
Sorry.
WrestleCon.
It'll get the people talking.
I mean, I'm not.
Hey, folks, if you've never been, go to WrestleCon. You'll see Ric Flair's dick.
Listen, I mean, didn't have to pay for it.
Nope.
Didn't have to wait in line. I got the fast pass to Space Mountain real quick.
you are a Disney guy.
I know. I
For a
didn't,
whole different reason.
I didn't have to book my fast passes 30 days in advance. I just stand in line at the right time, and you get the.
You got a
that
real
vibe.
personal experience this time.
Yeah.
Real hands-on.
That was like drawing the. What was it in freaking Monopoly? It's like you open it up and you draw like the community chest or whatever, and it's like do not advance directly to go.
Yeah.
Collect $200.
I didn't know where you were going with that for a second. I didn't know where you were going.
All right.
All right. Yeah, Frank picks Pac.
So we
Frank
got
picks
Pac
Pac.
all around. Next up, Dustin Rhodes up against Jake Hager.
All right, this is where it's weird to me. How long has this guy been in AEW and he hasn't been in a match yet?
I feel like it has to be Hager, right?
It has to be
It
Hager.
has to be.
Yeah,
It'll be Hager.
it's gonna be Hager, but
Frank.
how is this his? Yeah, maybe could be. Hager by a dusty finish. How could this be his first match? Like that blows my mind.
I mean, didn't he have an MMA fight that he was training for when he first showed up?
I don't know. It's a fake fucking match. You could have had him wrestle Orange Cassidy.
That's true. Could have had him do that, or Michael Nakazawa, or
It's not like he's not getting physical every week. That's the thing. He's in getting physical every week.
Could have been that, like, in his first interaction, he got hurt, and they just, like, hid the fact that he got hurt?
No, I don't think it's that.
I don't
at
know.
all.
I'm giving him too much credit.
Okay.
I think they just think that he's like this monstrous deal that like we're gonna build the anticipation for him. I like him. It's better than anything he's done with Jack Swagger. So I mean I don't understand why you wait this long.
What I like is I like how he doesn't talk.
Me too.
Yeah.
You don't need it. He doesn't
I wish
need
he
it.
didn't talk in WWE, to be honest.
Well, we got Hager.
All right, then. On to
Frank's on Hager on the hit. By
All
outside
right.
interference.
So we got Cody, the other Rhodes brother, with Arn Anderson in the corner against MJF with Wardlow in the corner.
Yeah, see now this is our topic, this is our poll because I'm curious to see what you guys think because all the booking leading up to this tells me Cody wins this, but if I'm really trying to legitimize my next star, I'm going MJF in this. And you can drag this program out beyond this.
Yeah.
thing.
Booking sense tells you MJF has to go over here because you want him to be that heel. You have to have him be that heel.
And because of that, I'm going MJF in this.
Because
I disagree with the poll.
Because it makes so much sense for MJF to win, I'm going Cody.
Okay.
Because it makes too much sense for MJF to win. You know what I'm saying? It's almost too obvious. to
Well,
me.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Not necessarily obvious. What I think also supports the idea of MJF winning is that Cody books a lot like Dusty does. And the thing is that, what a shock. But think about it this way. Dusty always had him lose a big match and then eventually get the win back. I mean, it happened all the time. When Dusty was booking, how many times did he lose to Ric Flair and he beat him once?
True.
Then he would immediately lose to him again, just to redo it, basically.
That's true.
Cody's the best thing about AEW right now.
It's the best
though.
thing about
Him and
wrestling.
He
MJF.
is.
He's the best wrestler
Yeah.
on the planet.
That's the best angle they got going.
I've always said that, though.
Overall package, including the character, the promos, and the in-ring,
And media, what he does outside promotion-wise.
I'll take Adam Cole over him.
All right.
I mean, I'm not. We're splitting
1A,
hairs,
1B, yeah.
but I got to be honest. To me, the hottest guy in the whole thing, right, in the whole wrestling industry right now, to me, the most must-see guy is Adam Cole.
All right.
All right.
Andy, who are you going with?
I gotta go Cody. There's something that tells me Cody's winning this match.
Okay.
All right, then. Frank?
Frank's on Cody. See,
Cody.
I feel like if you go Cody here, it's over.
Yep.
I feel like you can get more tread if you go with MJF on this.
I see how this match is going to end where Wardlow's going to attack Arn Anderson and Wardlow's going to interfere in the match and cost Cody the contest.
There you
That's
go.
the way I'm looking at it.
I ride
you
with
know?
that.
Those
I'm
two are
in.
going to get into it on the outside. Absolutely.
As much as Arn can.
Yeah. Maybe Arn will try and do a spine buster on Wardlow. I would love to see him break his hip trying to do that.
And really capitalize the word try.
Yeah. All right. Singles match. Let's see here. Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin.
Pretty simple here. I am becoming a fan of Darby Allin. I like how
Yeah,
they built
he's
him
cool.
up. I'm gonna go Darby Allin in this one.
Especially when he came back, they made it kind of a big deal, a grand entrance.
I love the promos to get him bringing him back too.
Yeah.
Without having to talk. I'm Darby Allin here.
You know, I'm actually going to say Guevara because I think they might extend this to another match.
Yeah.
And they may go to the extreme route where they go to the weapons and have Darby win that match.
See now, I think I mean that's a fair point, but I feel the other way. If you do that, see, I think he wins. I think Darby Allin wins this match. Guevara then challenges him to his own game, and then Darby Allin, because of his experience in these kinds of matches, goes to the ultimate extreme of it, and it costs himself in a weapons match.
You know what? Actually, that's good. I like that. That makes sense.
Frank. Darby.
You got Darby.
But. So
You
he
got
says
Sammy.
Darby, but Sammy.
He wants Darby, but he
he
thinks
wants Darby.
Sammy's going to
Okay.
win.
Gotcha. Very good, Frank.
What do you got?
I'm going Darby Allin.
Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, AEW Women's Championship match. Nyla Rose versus the alien, Chris Statlander.
Yeah, what the hell?
Nyla Rose.
Yeah,
It's-
please.
yeah,
I don't
it's
know
Nyla.
why they went right to this match after just putting the title on Nyla Rose. I'm not a Nyla Rose guy, by the way. And
At least she's not a friggin' alien.
nothing to do with Mr. Val Venus's soapbox rants that he goes on. I just don't think she's very good in the ring. We talked about it before. To me, she's Nia Rose or she's
Nia Jax.
Nia Jax at
But
Jace. Sloppier.
Nia Rose.
Nia Rose. She's Nia Rose. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
But I'm going Nyla.
Same.
Nyla wins this match.
Frank?
There's no reason for her to lose it.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
I got an upset.
You got Statlander?
Statlander with the upset.
Wow.
If they put the title on Statlander, then it's like, okay, you might as well just fire Nyla there because there's no point of keeping her around.
Nah,
Then.
they won't. I just don't know why they went to this match right away. It's probably their two best women.
I mean, well,
Who do you got, Andy?
I got Nyla winning. There's no reason to pull the title off her now.
Yeah.
no, absolutely not.
Let's get through how many matches we got left.
2 more.
2 more. Let's run through them.
Tag title match: Hangman Page and Kenny Omega versus the Young Bucks. Again, free TV, 30-minute Iron Man match. This on the pay-per-view.
Yeah. I don't love this program the way it's gone.
Me neither.
I guess I'm gonna go Page and I'm gonna go Omega in this. They're gonna drag this out.
I hope not. But you know what? I'm going to have to agree.
I agree.
Super Kick Party, the alcoholic Adam Page angle continues.
All right.
Alcoholism, he will show up hammered.
Hammered. That's actually pretty good, Frank. I wouldn't mind that. That would make me excited about it.
It's like the Scott Hall alcoholic.
I don't.
But
Last call, Adam Hangman Page. What the hell? Jesus.
Who do you have, Andy?
I don't like any of it, but I think it's time for the Bucks to win the titles and call it a night.
Okay.
All right.
Final match.
World title: Jericho versus Jon Moxley.
Andy, who you got?
Moxley.
Is there anybody who doesn't think that Moxley's winning this match?
Not I. Moxley.
Is there anybody who loves the build-up to this match?
Not I.
It has had its moments.
Except for the eye patch.
The fucking eye patch.
That was
is
stupid.
stupid as shit.
That
just
was
awful.
stupid. Part of me still kind of thinks maybe Jericho will win.
Is that your pick? You going Jericho? You going out on a limb here?
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go Jericho only because, to me, it's like Jericho's your best heel.
Yeah.
And if you take the title off of him just to put it on Moxley, it's like, don't get me wrong. We all love Moxley. It's like Jericho should lose to someone that you're building up, not to someone who's already established who doesn't need the belt.
See, to me, Moxley's been the guy who they have literally built this up since the very first pay-per-view to get to this moment.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Moxley, and he does deserve a belt. But it's like, I don't know. He could have saved it for a young guy, build him up to eventually take out Jericho. That's how I would have done it, but that's just me.
Yeah. Real quick comment from the Facebook chat. Sean Spellman just chimed in. He
What up,
says,
Spells?
Just tuned in. Watch Showdown. Amazing how a guy does work in ring, not even a minute, is out of breath, and wins the belt. Spot on, Sean.
I'll be honest. That's the perfect way to end this show because we're
Yep.
all on spot. We're spot on, Spellman. We're with you, brother. Great show this week. Guys, make sure you stay tuned because Maddie and the guys over here in the real Triple H have a special guest. Who's coming at you at the 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time hour?
Jason Martinez, who is, of course, the Flyers pregame, postgame guy, and intermission guy, originally on the Fanatic, and he'll be live with us at 10 o'clock.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. It's going to be a good show. Maddie's going to have his band of misfits. Maddie, who sponsors us, man?
That would be Specialized Physical Therapy. If you got any aches and pains, and we got a lot of them after this week in pro wrestling, feel free to give a little contact out there to Mr. Dr. Paul Vidal. You can find him on the web at www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com. You won't have any more of those aches and pains after you see Dr. Paul Vidal, so check him out.
Also, shout out to ATS Sports Picks, atsportspick.com. Promo code A2D gets you 20% off. Ambuck Services, check them out. Get your gutters clean, get your decks fixed up, get your trees trimmed. ambuckservices.com. And QB54, it's the best tailgating game in the business, guys. It's awesome. We love it. We play it. we might implement it into something special we're working on
Yes.
very soon.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. But you can find them at playqb54.com. And, of course, you guys. Thank you to you guys. Thank you for your contributions to the chat. Thank you for your reactions and responses. We love it every week. This is the place you have a voice, A2D Radio. There's no call in for 30 seconds and you're off. This is the place that you have a voice through everything, and we will make sure that we talk with you guys. For Mr. Brodo, for Matty Sensudi, for Chrome, for Frank Over hiding in the wings. He's going to be producing the Hockey Happy Hour. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk to you next week.
It's okay. It happens.